Welcome to Savor the Story podcast, where books and sex are life. I'm Nicole. This is Vanessa.
Hello.
Hiya.
Hi. Can I tell you something I figured out earlier today?
Okay.
This is really random, but I'm pretty sure that if I was a person with chronic pain, I would not be able to handle it because
no.
I have like my cramps and all I want to do is eat, but eat shitty. So I just want to eat all of the bad snacks. And like I'm not motivated to do anything else, like work out or life or like anything. So like if I had to deal with this all the time, how would I ever get myself to do anything that I'm supposed to do?
I think that's a mystery.
All right.
Yeah, I knew. I've known a couple people with chronic pain, and it was just like they were always just like, well, day by day.
Right. Well, anyone out there, if you have chronic pain and you still manage to do life even half of the time and like be accomplished, then I am in envy of you. Or I am in awe of you because yes, I am in awe of you because I just don't get it. So I made that realization like 2 hours ago and I really just needed to share that with you.
All right, cool.
Okay, thanks. Yes, that's my update for the week is I cannot have chronic pain because I would be terrible.
Hard pass.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
Good.
Not living with chronic pain.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
I just hanging out, working, doing things.
Doing things. Great.
I hate to start off a podcast like that because or an episode. I keep calling it a podcast. I hate to start off an episode.
That's what it is.
Like, I know, but I'm talking individually episodes. But I hate to start an episode off like that because I feel like I really bring myself down, and then the rest of the episode I'm just like Eeyore, just like.
What if I said I wanted to ask you to tell the people what you thought about Breaking Dawn Part 2?
Oh, yes.
Would that bring you up a little?
No.
Damn
Still
it.
in the wrong direction, but I am willing to talk about that for a second.
Right. Yes.
It's probably the better of all of the movies.
Okay. Because there was like a bunch of action,
I guess. Something happened. If you're like previously, a week prior, Nicole, if you were like her and you've never seen that movie, I don't want to spoil it for you. But at this point, I feel like you're probably never going to watch it.
Yeah, that movie came out like 10 years ago, whatever it was. So please spoil away.
All right. So I guess stop here.
Yeah.
If you've just found out about Twilight and you're thinking about watching those movies.
Yeah.
I think I appreciated the whole end scene where they're all fighting and because what the hell is going on? This is not the book. And
that was what I was talking about when I said I can't wait for you to watch this movie because I wanted I wanted to have your reaction to the scene that does not happen in the book.
Right. So yeah, I like when it started, I was just like, what is going on?
Because it starts with Carlisle getting his head cut off.
I know. And that is wildly traumatic because Carlisle and Esme are like my favorite characters. Right. And so I was like, dang it. And then I don't remember seeing if Esme lived through it. I don't even remember seeing anything that happened to her. Like
I don't know. I don't remember now.
Yeah, after like him getting his head chopped off and she's like, no. I don't remember seeing anything else like her fighting or anything like that. So my assumption is because my assumption is that she probably died.
Probably. I mean, it was not going great at the very end, right when they like right before they reveal that it's not real. Things are not going well for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I can say is like when that happened in the movie theater at the midnight showing, the audience went fucking wild because all of us were just like, what is happening? Like, I just remember looking at my friend who was with me and being like, that's not what happened, right? Like,
right.
Did I
read
forget?
The same book, right?
Yeah. Yes, I like it was like a sanity check, like what is going on? And so when we finally find out that it was just Alice showing him the future, it was like everybody just started like busting up laughing. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. I don't remember who the director was, but whoever wrote that in probably saved the movie, because if it would have
sure.
if it would have went like the book did,
yeah,
I could have seen a lot of people just like,
well, it was boring.
What did I invest my time in?
Right. Exactly. So, so this watch officially closes out our first 5 episodes of Bonus Bites.
And hopefully Twilight forever.
Well, Twilight forever. So I know I just said I closed it out, but I have one more comment that I want to make.
Okay.
After some reflection of like our reread and talking about it and all of the things, and really how much I've said that I dislike it now. I really want to take a step back and say it's still part of my, like, I still have a really like soft spot in my heart for it, because it's something that started me like super into fantasy and like super into reading and all that kind of stuff. And like, it was something that I had with my sister, like a connection that we had. And it's just like, and I think back fondly on it too. Like, I really did love them back then. Like, and so I kind of want to kind of live in that space of just like, I did love them at a time. There was joy that it gave me. Even now, if I have to like think about what I read now, it's not that great. But I'm just going to go back to a time where like I didn't think about it too deeply and I just like enjoyed them. So yeah, I just want to put that out there that I am not a full Twilight hater now, but I will not read them again.
They can be your secret shame.
That's right. I will continue to watch the movies like on a cold, rainy day and I don't have anything else to do and I just want to like sit and curl up. I will for sure put on Twilight. Like, it will happen. So there we go.
Well, there was a reason I only rented it and I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
When we watched it. I was
right.
Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm never going to watch this again.
Right. So. Yeah. Well, that's that.
The end.
The end of Twilight.
Oh,
thank you.
The end of Twilight.
Yes. Okay. The end. What else do you have for me?
Well, I just hung out with you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yep, you were nice enough to drive up for my birthday.
It was your birthday.
It was my birthday. I have finished 40 years on this earth.
That's right.
Huzzah.
Welcome. Welcome to my month experience of being 40. Yeah.
Listen, it was pretty chill. I feel like we ate a lot.
Yeah, that did happen.
Except for I know I didn't feed you appropriately. So I guess for everybody else, I don't eat breakfast. It's not part of my morning. I'll have a cup of coffee and I'm fine. Like, until noon.
And I usually eat breakfast by 6:30 a.m.
So I kind of forget that everybody else eats breakfast, because Mike has now learned that if he wants to eat, he just gets up and makes it. Like, he'll just wake when he wakes up, he's just gonna make whatever it is.
Yeah.
So while we were sitting there talking that one morning, I think we like chatted until like 9 or 10, and I was like, huh, you haven't eaten yet, have you? And you were just like, I'm starving.
We were busy talking.
I know. So
it's okay. I was just enjoying chatting with you since we don't get to do it in person anymore.
I know. And so then I tried to make up for that by continuously feeding you for the rest of the time you were there.
Yes, and then I was so full.
Like, so yeah, I feel like we ate a lot, but I don't feel like anything that I ate while we were together would have been like a snack for me this week.
Okay, so tell me your snack.
I had to write it down.
Because you forgot.
So I talked about it in an earlier podcast. I think when the podcast when you're talking about your German snacks. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about protein pretzels. And I think I called them something ridiculous, like I don't even know what I called them. But so they're actually called Lenny and Larry's.
I feel like that's what you called them.
No,
or it was something similar to that. No,
it was similar, but it was definitely not Lenny and Larry's. I think I might have got the Larry the second time I tried it.
Okay,
but I did not.
All right.
So, I found those pretzels at Meijer while I was grocery shopping, and I bought the Pizza Palooza. They're called Fitzels.
Okay.
The Pizza Palooza flavor. And I have to tell you, it's pretty fucking delicious.
All right.
I had to hide.
How much protein is in them? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I knew I should have looked at this. I don't think there's a lot. For pretzels, okay. I mean, you're only going to get like, I think there's like 20 if you eat the whole bag, but that's like 400 calories, 300 calories or something, right?
Okay.
If you're gonna eat a shit ton of pretzels, I guess you might as well get protein out of them. Yes. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about those like protein tortilla chips and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But that is my snack this week. Pizza Palooza Fitzels.
I like that it's Pizza Palooza. Like, it has to be Palooza, obviously.
It's so much pizza. Yeah, Mike grabbed a handful because I was eating some with like chicken dip or something, and he grabbed a handful and walked away, and he sat down and he ate the first one, and he like immediately got back up and came back over and grabbed another handful, and I was like, mine, get away from me.
Yes, you are not allowed to have these.
There's another bag in there. Go away.
Yes. So. Is it they're not individual bags?
They are.
Oh.
They're like 3-ounce bags.
So why is he eating out of it? So here's the thing. I don't really like to share food anyway. Okay. But especially when it's a single serving of something and that single serving tells me exactly what all the macros are, you better get your fucking hand out of this bag, because as soon as you take however many you're going to take from me, you now just changed all the macros of this bag and I have to recalculate in my app. So if there is an individual thing, especially if there's an individual like count or whatever, bag, piece, whatever it is, I'm not sharing. You better get the fuck away from me, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Something about me.
Yeah, I am so... maybe I'm just like I'm so used to it now, because it always happens. Like I'll be eating something and like a hand comes in and grabs a hole and like walks away, and I'm just like, whatever.
Nope. You better leave my shit alone. Because do you want to know why too? Another reason why I don't like sharing certain things is because, well, especially when they're like single serve things, but I eat my stuff in very particular ways. So like specifically, okay, we'll take like chips, for example. Okay. I eat all of the chips first on my plate that have the least amount of flavoring on them. So when I finish eating what my plate has on it or whatever, all of the ones that are like loaded with flavor are at the end. So if you come in and you eat my food, especially towards the end of me eating, you just took all the best ones.
That's how people are ended.
Yes, exactly. So I feel like I've just cracked the code on the reason why I get so upset when people I mean Tim, try to take my food from me.
See, that I can understand that. That's
Yes.
fair. So what about you?
Yeah, so my snack is going to be...
Oh shit. Go ahead, do your snack. I want to know.
My snack is going to be a nothing bundt cake.
I forgot we ate like 300 bundt cakes this weekend.
We did.
So
if you haven't tried nothing bundt cake, they are delicious. Yeah. And I bought the little like mini cupcake kind of size ones and brought them to Nicole for her birthday. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna go with the carrot cake one because obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the snickerdoodle one was good. Mm-hmm. You left me the lemon one. That one was delicious.
Excellent.
What one did we eat?
It was a white chocolate raspberry or something.
Oh, yes.
That one was really good too.
Oh my goodness. I don't understand how they make this food so good. What are they putting in this? Is it MSG? Is it cocaine? Like,
it's for sure cocaine.
Okay, I just need more of it.
Yes, it was so good. So yes, my snack this week is going to be nothing bundt cake, carrot cake flavored.
Man, as soon as you were like, my snack is, my brain was like, nothing bundt cake. You already know what she's gonna have. And then I was like, fuck cake.
You were like, I ate that too.
I ate cake. So
yes. I have a couple other that's it for my snacks. I have a couple other updates, but they're more like podcast updates, so I'm gonna do them after we're done.
Oh, okay.
But just know that when we finish with our discussion, so stick around because they are podcast updates for you, dear listeners.
They're very important.
Yes, they are. All right. Are you ready to tell me about your books?
Yes, I am ready. But first I have to tell you that I had a very rough book week.
You did?
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
I DNF'd 2 books this week.
2?
Yeah, and it really took away from how many books I could finish
and then also I was there, so you couldn't read.
I didn't read the whole time you were there. One of the books I've DNF'd at 40% too, so It wasn't even. The other one I barely made it to 100 pages, but yeah, one of them I was like, this is me. It's all me. I'm the problem here. I'm gonna keep reading, and so I pushed myself to 40%, and then I was like, I can't keep
do
going.
it anymore.
Which is really sad because for me, or I feel weird DNFing this book because it was a 4.39.
Ooh. Okay, so 1, are you going to tell us what they are? And 2, are you going to tell us why you DNF'd?
Yes.
Okay, great.
All right. So the first one is a historical fiction. It's called Churchill's Secret Messenger by Alan Hlad.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's rated extremely well. And I like historical fiction. I like history. I like all the things. But I don't know. The story wasn't sticking for me. I struggled. I struggled through the first part of it. Just like, maybe it was just my headspace or something, but I really struggled to like connect with the characters and find them interesting, I guess. Which, like I said, I feel weird saying because this is a World War II historical fiction book where everybody in the book is going through something wildly heroic and I just, man.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so like I said, I feel weird saying like, I couldn't connect with anybody. I'm the bad person here. Yeah, so I went back and read some descriptions, like other people's thoughts and comments, and everybody pretty much likes it. But my assumption is based on what I know happens from reading spoilers, is it probably gets a lot better. I just apparently wasn't in the mood to keep
but
going.
if you're not connecting to the characters themselves at 40%, like how much better could it get for you to be like feel like you're in it, like I don't know. I would say I think you made the right choice.
I'm willing to come back and give it another try at a different date.
Okay,
but right now I'm done with it for today. This week.
Okay.
The other book was called Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. And the concept of the book was interesting to me, because it's like this girl, she's like, her whole family are like the monsters of the story. So this is a YA book. It's extremely YA. Like, I think she's only like 15. So it was just like another example of like, I couldn't connect with a 15-year-old's mindset. But yeah, I took a chance, like I said, because the magic sounded unique, and but it turned out to not be interesting enough for me to stay into the story. There is one person in this story who I thought would have probably been a more interesting person to have like be the book, like the book to be
the
about.
lead.
Right. But this is gonna show why I shouldn't be reading YA as an old person, because I was like, man, the grandmother sounds like she probably had a rad life. Like, why is this book not about the grandma? So that's how I knew right then and there, when I was like, man, give me more grandma. Like, where's she? I was like, yeah, this book is not for me.
Nope.
So I DNF'd it. I think it's another one that I might be willing to come back to.
Okay.
But I probably won't.
Okay.
That one I'm go ahead.
How early did you DNF that one?
Oh, that was like less than 100 pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yep. Boo. So, like I said, by the end of the week, I had only finished one book, and I was in pretty much panic mode. I was like, I can't go into the end of the week with only one book. That'll put me so behind. No, it'll put me behind.
Behind on what?
My goal for the year of bookies.
Oh my gosh.
And not even my secret goal, my real goal. And be behind on my real goal.
Okay.
So, to cheat. To cheat. I read a manga that I had sitting on my shelf.
Okay. Great.
But it still counts as a book it still counts as a book in Goodreads, and I still consider mangas to be books. There's words in them, and there's pictures. So so this book was called, I'm gonna mess this up, Cthulhu Cat.
Okay.
Yes, the spelling does not give the same vibes. That's why I had to think about it for a second. So, this is a book. The author is, I don't know who the author is. I've never read manga. It's not my genre. If you are a manga fan, I apologize right now, because I don't know who Pandania is. If it's a guy or a group of people or like a umbrella corporation, I have no clue.
All right.
So
fair.
It's a shell company.
Okay.
So yeah, it's and then Zach Davison translated it, and Steve Durtro illustrated it. Okay. So I read this as a physical. I saw it on Amazon and I thought it was cute. Okay. Because like I said, it's Cthulhu Cat. And it's basically a book about a Japanese high school student finds an abandoned cat, and he takes it home. and only to find out that this cat is weirdly different, in the fact that, like, he's very demonic, and he has tentacles where his whiskers should be, and
shit.
right. So adopting Cthulhu seems to have opened doors for even more weird things, people, creatures, happenings to find this poor high school student who's just trying to be a nice guy and adopt a poor little kitten that was all alone. So,
yes.
Like I said, when I looked at it, I was like, this looks adorable.
Yes.
I had to pre-order it because when I found it was, and so I pre-ordered it and it auto shipped to my house. I probably should have waited a little just to see what other people were saying. I liked the art. The cats were adorable. It was like a mashup of, like, demons and cats. So definitely cute. I should say that's really all I got out of it. There's like a main overarching storyline in this book, but it's very small. It's very small. Like 4 or 5 pages. So, and then the rest of the book is just like small anecdotal, like side stories or side quests, and most of them ending with like the vibe is like, well, that's cats for you. So it's like, okay. Yeah, so like I said, I've never read manga before. I'm not 100% sure this was the best option to start with. So I am willing to take recommendations from other people. If there's any listeners out there that enjoy manga, please shoot me some suggestions, because besides the art, I was not a fan. I'd say true 2.5, like true middle of the road. So, and I would be willing to round up to 3 for rating purposes. But that's just because the cats are cute.
Right. I was gonna say, is it because of the art?
Yep. So the one true book that I finished this week is called False Value by Ben Aaronovitch.
Hello, old friend.
This is number 8 in the Rivers of London series. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I listened to it on audio, obviously. If you're been around for a while, if you're new here, do not start here. Yes, so audio for obvious reasons. Police procedural. I don't know why I cannot say that word anytime I have to say it.
I was gonna say every time, I feel like.
Yes. Soon it'll be over and I'll never have to say it again.
Right, exactly.
It's also like a paranormal fantasy. So I really struggled with writing the description for this one.
Yep, we're getting real close to it's a book.
Yes. It's even with me giving these minimal details, I feel like, because I know what's happened, I feel like I'm being spoilery, but maybe because, but I tried not to give any other information that wasn't also like maybe in the description. So if you accidentally read the description, you already know. But so Peter is dealing with the backlash from his and Nightingale's showdown with the Faceless Man.
Yes.
And because of that repercussions, he takes a job at a tech startup doing security and doing some like in-house like investigating for a mole. So they think somebody's in there trying to steal technology. It turns out that just because Peter has left the folly doesn't mean that he has also left magic behind.
Okay.
Dun, that's it. Dun, dun. This is a book. So, Yeah, sorry guys, I cannot give any more.
Yes.
So, this book was good.
Okay.
It was good. I really enjoyed all the new characters. The storyline was good.
Okay.
There was like it was a good, like, the mystery was a good pace. It was a good mystery, so to speak. But the ending felt pretty anticlimactic.
All right.
It was just, it still definitely worth a listen. Um, but there's not really anything. I don't think there's really anything in this book. Like, I haven't finished 9, and obviously
Okay.
10's not out yet. So I don't know if there's anything in this book that would be pertinent to the rest of the world.
Okay.
Like the rest of the books.
Was this one a little more fillery?
Yeah. So I said this about one of the previous books is, it feels like in all the books by Ben, he it feels like to me that he builds up the storyline, gets to like a major event, so to speak. I'm air quoting here. It happens, and then there's a reset book, right?
Okay. Yep.
And then slowly build back up, and you have a major event, and this just happens to be a reset book, right?
Okay.
You can't just have like gas, foot on the gas pedal for 10 books.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
So I tried to take that into consideration. But I missed a lot of the old characters.
Oh, okay.
Like, Nightingale has a very small role in it. He's my favorite. Some of the other police officers that he deals with, not very much. Bev is in this, but her role is very small and I don't know, it's one-dimensional almost, like.
Okay.
And then but there was also some weird storyline jumping in the beginning, which makes sense later in the book.
Okay.
But Ben has never done this before, never done this jumping storyline, so it was really weird. Definitely listening. It was very weird. I don't know how it is reading, but so yeah, the book was like a weird reset. There's some stuff that Ben's never really done before in the other books. A lot of the characters are missing. I think that took away from a lot of the enjoyment, but the story was still good. You know, it was kind of like reading a side quest.
Okay.
So I I don't know. I gave this one a 4.
Okay.
4 Fitzels.
Yes.
Pizza Palooza Fitzels.
That's right.
But I think I'm rounding up to 4. And some of that 4 is also nostalgia.
Okay. That makes sense.
My love for the series so far. So I'm willing to round up.
Okay. Of the 8 that you've finished, do you think this one is your least favorite?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is sad because
you're so deep in it.
I know, but like I said, I've already started 9.
Okay.
I'm not far in it enough to know if it's gonna give me
pick
good
back
or
up
bad vibes, but yes, I'm still gonna finish it. And unless something crazy happens in this one, like Ben kills Nightingale, if you do that,
you will not. I find out, are you gonna boycott book 10?
Oh yes, if Nightingale dies in this book, I will not get book 10.
Okay.
I haven't even read the description for book 10, so everybody could be like, he could be mentioned it, and people are like, you're freaking out about nothing, but I don't want to spoil book 10, so I haven't read the description.
Or book 9. It might be a spoiler for book 9 if you read what book 10 is about.
Right.
So yeah. Okay. Well, I'm nervous for you. I'm excited for you to finish. I can't wait to hear about it until next week.
So
yes.
So yeah, those were my books and my almost books.
And your almost books. I'm sad for you that you had two DNFs this week.
Yeah. It doesn't happen very often, but I know we've talked about DNFs before, but I
Yeah.
did have like a small, I don't want to say like breakdown or nervous breakdown or anything, because that's not what it was, but it's
Right.
just definitely like, what is wrong?
Right.
Like, what am I going to read?
Yeah.
Did I put myself into this funk? And I think I might have done it to myself, because I'm reading Happy Place right now.
Okay.
Spoiler for next week. And I don't know.
You're not liking it?
It's not that I don't like it. It's just, I can usually, like, I've only gotten like 20 pages in, and I'm like, I'm just going to put it down now. And that's usually after I get to like 3 to 5 books where I'm like, I'm just going to put it down now. I'm like, something's wrong.
Yeah. Okay, so then I need you to hold off on Happy Place for a little while, because you're in a space right now, and I need you to be out of that space when you give it a shot.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. I was like, well, maybe I'll go back and read a book that I know that I've enjoyed in the past.
Yeah.
And I'll just read that. And if I'm having the same vibes, then I know it's me, not books.
Right.
Because I also recognize that I really need to read Where the Library Hides.
Yes.
So I can mark that up for our next our next bookish
bonus bites.
Our next bonus bites. So
yes. Well, since you brought it up, that was one of my announcements that I was going to do at the end, but we'll do it right here. Don't forget, April 1st is the bonus bite for Where the Library Hides. Wait, What the River Knows.
Did I say What the Library Hides?
Yeah, I don't know what you said, but What the River Knows is the first one.
I know that I have to go back and spend the time and read
What the River Knows.
So that way we can have it for bonus bites. Yes. There. Put this in there. Erase all the other stuff.
No, I'm going to erase that one.
Dang it.
Yeah, so we so that's coming out April 1st. So hopefully you read it with us. Hopefully at least by this week. Yes. That is all. So there's one announcement out.
Done. Sorry, guys.
Do you have anything else before I go into mine? Okay.
That's all my books.
Okay. All right, let me readjust a little bit. Okay, so I did I read this at the end of February. It's called Little Monsters by Kara Thomas. And it was a sister book club. I feel like I haven't had one in a little while. But the reason I had to like readjust myself a little bit is because I want to read you some stuff. This is one that we got off of ChatGPT that we made pick for us. So I'm going to tell you. I was just about
to ask who picked it. So.
Oh yes. So it was like a joint pick, but it was based on information we got from ChatGPT. So we started off by asking, can you recommend a book that is similar in writing style to Ashley Elston? We want it to be mystery thriller. So my sister was like, well, we've really enjoyed all the Ashley Elston books that we've read. So let's go some like vibes there. So ChatGPT said that Ashley Elston writes compelling YA thrillers with strong character development, engaging mysteries, and a balance of suspense and romance. Okay. So it gave us 3 recommendations. It recommended A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, They Wish They Were Us by Jessica Goodman, and The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas. So we read those. It kind of gives like a little description about them. We read them and decided we liked the cheerleaders, like the way it sounded, but we kind of wanted to lean maybe a little more psychological suspense. And so it said, if you like the sound of the cheerleaders, then you might like Little Monsters by Kara Thompson, The Ivies by Alexa Dunn or Doan. I think it's Dunn. and Sadie by Courtney Summers. So based on those, actually what we did in this particular case, we ended up saying, we might want to read something completely different. So then we asked it between that, remember the book that I read called The Seventh Victim? So we kind of found that one and we were like, well, should we read The Seventh Victim or should we read The Cheerleaders? And it gave us like a breakdown of both of those. And so we decided to go with The Seventh Victim. And then we came back and decided to read The Little Monsters that it gave us. So it explained it as a slow burn, eerie psychological thriller about toxic friendships, small town secrets, and an unreliable narrator. So that's what ChatGPT said. My sister and I do not agree with it. I will tell you that right now. Okay, so I'm going to lean back again. Okay, so I'll tell you what it's about and then I'll tell you why we don't agree with that.
Okay.
Okay, so Casey is new to Broken Falls. Oh yeah, YA thriller if you didn't get it from all of that. And I listened to it on Spotify Premium. It was available on Premium for included or whatever. So there you go. Okay, so Casey is new to Broken Falls. She just moved here to get out of her mother's house, so they do not have a good relationship. Her mom is kind of a terrible person. But the problem also is the fact that she's moving in with her dad, whom she actually doesn't really know. And so it's her dad, her stepmom, her stepbrother, and her half sister that she's moving in with. Casey is a junior in high school, and two girls, Bailey and Jade, bring her into their friendship. So she meets them at school and they're like, ooh, come be part of our little group or whatever.
This is suspicious.
Yes, suspicious. So while Casey usually prefers to stay in, she's kind of like a little homebody, likes to stay inside and stuff. Bailey and Jade like to go out at night, and they often force Casey to sneak out with them. It's like one of those situations where it's like peer pressure and like, come on, you're gonna like,
everybody's doing it.
Exactly. Okay, so there's one night that Lauren, who is Casey's half sister, and she's 13, is in her room when Bailey and Jade show up. And they make her come out with them. So basically they show up and they're Casey's like, no, I don't want to come out. Like, Lauren's here. And they're like, just do it anyway. And so
bring her.
Well, first they say, like, they don't say anything about Lauren. They're just Lauren is fine. And then Casey's like, okay, I'll come out. Well, and then Lauren ends up sneaking out with her, like right behind her, and then jumps in the car. And so anyway, so at the last minute she joins them. They end up going to this abandoned barn to do a seance, and things don't really go well there. Like, nothing crazy, super crazy happens or anything that we know of at the time. But yeah, they go to do this seance. So in the next couple of nights, there's like the biggest school party of the year, and Bailey and Jade end up going to the party without Casey. She wakes up the next morning and realizes that her friends went to this party without her and never like called to tell, like, invite her or anything. And Jade is calling her to say that Bailey never made it home from the party. So the whole book kind of follows the investigation into Bailey's disappearance. Where did she go? What happened to her? Like, who knows what? All of the stuff. Casey ends up kind of trying to do some of the investigation on her own, and as she is finding out information, the finger is kind of being pointed more at her for knowing what happened to Bailey, because she ends up being the one who's finding like some of the evidence and like some of the things that are like leading to where Bailey is at. And so some people start thinking that it's her, and so, but she's like doing all the investigation. So that's kind of the story without giving any spoilers. It's whatever. Okay, so my first thought is ChatGPT is a liar. I do not think that she is an unreliable narrator. So it's told from Casey's point of view. And the reason I don't think she's unreliable is because she also doesn't know what's going on. So to me and my sister, like, we kind of talked it out to figure out where we kind of stood on what that meant, so that because we were like, what does this mean to you? So for us, an unreliable narrator is like, they do know what's going on, but they're bending the truth to like make it seem like something different, or they're just flat out lying. Like, and it's usually by lying to other people and telling whatever, like, you don't know, or they tell multiple stories or multiple like versions of a story, and you as the reader don't know which one, whatever. Like, that is unreliable to me, unreliable narrator to me. When the POV doesn't even know what happened, I don't think that makes you an unreliable narrator. I think that just makes you're investigating along with the reader, basically. So
right.
I think that part was wrong. Okay, so my thoughts, it's definitely a high school drama. I knew it was going to be like a high schooly drama thing. Also, the description kind of compares it to Pretty Little Liars. 100% believe that. Like, it's for sure Pretty Little Liars vibes, and I was a Pretty Little Liars fan, so like, definitely PLL vibes. I think if I had even just read this like 10 years ago, I think I would have liked it more. Just like, just 10. I think that 10 years kind of gave me a little bit too much, like, I can't deal with these high schoolers vibe, like the old grandma vibe. And so yeah, I think it's not bad. It was entertaining, but in some of the ways that the twist happens, or like things that happen to kind of throw you off, were a little weird, a little uncomfortable. And then also the very end was super rushed. I felt like once, and I don't know if that's just a thing that happens in mysteries, like once you find out what the mystery is, like once the mystery is solved, it's just kind of like bam bam bam, it's done. And that's kind of right, like, here it is, and so now the story's over. I kind of feel like, I don't know, I've read mysteries before that do it right, and so maybe it's common that happens, but maybe sometimes it's just written better. And so in this one, I just feel like as soon as we found out what happened to Bailey, it was like the next two chapters just kind of like closed everything out. It was just like, boom, this happened, and here was the consequence, and here's what like the end. And so I don't know. I do have a couple of spoilers that I think I might end up putting in my Goodreads thingy. So if anyone's interested, go check out my Goodreads review. So I went with a 2.5. I went very middle of the road. If I'm rounding, I will round up to 3. So 2.5, nothing but carrot cakes. But I think it was mostly just because it mostly just felt like high school drama more than anything else. Yeah. And it was just like,
been there, done that.
Yeah, it was like, I don't want to tell you who I like, or I don't want to tell, like, I don't, like, just stupid kind of bullshit or whatever. I didn't think the twist was super big. Like, both my sister and I figured it out pretty early. It just, yeah, 2.5. I still think it's pretty short. It's only like 9 hours. So if like you're just looking for like a cute little mystery and just nothing too high stakes or anything like that, then I would still recommend it. It's not terrible, but it's not one that I would like probably spend money on. Like, I'm glad that it was included in Spotify, whatever. So that is that. Yeah. All right.
You've had some bummer weeks on books.
I know. Well, agreed. Last week really brought me up, though. with the
right. So you had that good week, but I think the 2 weeks before that
they weren't great.
You didn't have great books either.
I know. I'm really looking forward to some better ones. Today on recording day, Sunrise on the Reaping came out yesterday, so I will be reading that soon. I do have to prioritize Where the River Flows.
What the river knows. Where the river flows.
Something
where the
with
river
goes.
goes.
Something with rivers and libraries. I don't know. I do have to prioritize that this week because we're recording that next week, but I do plan on reading Sunrise on the Reaping, so hopefully that doesn't suck. And then I also do have a couple in my TBR that I feel are going to be good, which is going to be part of the conversation here shortly. Okay. Are you ready for our discussion? Okay.
Description.
For our description. Okay. Ooh, this we actually got from a YouTube comment.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Do you have a book that lives rent-free in your head?
Okay. Rent-free. So I guess so I take that.
Yes.
I take rent-free as in it's just always hanging out back there in the back of your mind, like
just floating around.
Just like there is a space in your brain and it does not auto memory dump.
Great. So I'm glad you explained, because I always see, like, people always say that, and I feel like I'm too old. I'm too old to just be like, I don't know, that's not a phrase that I use commonly.
Right.
So I'm glad you told me what your thoughts were.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that's how I take it, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully that's how it was intended.
Yes. I mean, that to me makes sense. I think that's the right vibe of, like, your brain does not auto dump it. It literally just lives there. It hangs out. It's just going to be with you forever, taking up space.
Yeah. I don't think I have any books that I think about all the time.
Yeah.
Or maybe pop up in my brain where I'm just sitting there like relaxing, and all of a sudden a book pops up and it's like, you need to think about this book,
right?
Like that you just read. I will caveat that with, usually after I finish a book that I really like, I do think about it, reflect on it, stuff like that. But my brain auto dumps as soon as I'm into the next book. My brain's like, no, time out. Like, we cannot store all this information. It's time to get rid of something.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
yeah, I feel like that's kind of where I'm at right now with The Quiet Librarian. I feel like that hasn't left my brain since I read it a week and a half ago now or so. So obviously, because I just recently read it, it's hard to say that it's going to be there forever, but it's definitely living there right now. The only other thing that I can think of is, like, books that I've said that are, like, all-time favorites, like the 3 books from like all my Shadowhunter books and stuff. I feel like all of those, specifically the Infernal Devices, so the prequel to the main series of the Shadowhunter world, I don't know that I, like, randomly think about them, but they're always kind of there. Like, anytime you bring up favorite books, like if you just say, like, what's your favorite book, or what has been your favorite book or something, that trilogy always comes to mind, like, first thing. So I feel like, does that count as being part of my living rent free in there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess assuming that you had attached an emotion to it, right? And now it's just, like you said, if somebody's like, what is a book you really enjoyed? It is XYZ. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a couple books that I'm the same way. If somebody was like, recommend a book right now, I'm like, The Martian, and Blitzed. Like, those are my 2 favorite. After that, it's kind of, I kind of get a little bit, like, well, what genre and
Uh-huh.
what, like, but those two books, I don't even care if you don't read that genre.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
I'm gonna say, go read it. They're
Yeah.
good books, or listen, you know.
Yeah.
So,
All right, I think that counts then. I don't know. It's hard because I don't, like you said, there's not enough space in my head to just like have that all the time. I mean, I guess that's unfair to say because like anything you say, I could find a Friends quote to go with that. So like you could say Friends lives rent free in my head. So, but I don't have a book like that. And maybe it's because I don't typically reread books. So like I read it once, I have a handful of books that I've read twice. And other than that, it's kind of just it exists, it happened, and then it doesn't whatever, like I just think about them in general, I guess. So I don't know, maybe if it was something like where Friends I've watched approximately 7,200 times, I like if I had a book that was like that, maybe it would be the same.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I definitely have books that evoke like a feeling, maybe,
Uh-huh.
if that makes sense. But like, oh, I really enjoyed it and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
But also a previous discussion is I've never really read a book that's made me cry, like outright
Right.
cry.
Yeah.
I've had books where like I've teared up a little, or
Uh-huh.
like your eyes get misty, or you're like, oh my god. But
Yes.
I've never had a book that's caused me to just like bawl or be really sad about it for days afterwards, so like
Yeah.
maybe I just don't connect to books on that level.
Maybe.
Maybe I'm not a reader.
Could you imagine? So you're not a TV watcher, you're not a movie watcher, and now you're not a reader. What are you, Nicole? You just exist in life as a potato.
I'm a potato.
No, you are a reader. You just, I don't know. I feel like
I focus on quantity over quality.
you really do. um I don't know. I feel like there's different types of readers. So there's space for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
our little space, our little corner just happens to be a space where we don't let them live in our brains for very long.
Which is great because that means there's always room for new books.
That's right.
See how I brought that back?
Uh-huh.
I am a reader.
Exactly. Okay. Is that all for our discussion?
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready for our news before we close out?
Yes, but I also have news, so don't let me forget.
Do you want to tell me news first?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you remember the conversation we had? I think we were in Barnes and Noble over the weekend, and you said that you had read somewhere that you have to read 8 Kindle Unlimited books in a month.
Yes.
In order for Amazon to lose money.
Yes.
I think I'm going to try that in April.
Okay. That's your goal for April?
I think, I kind of want to, I'm just going to, besides What the River Knows.
Yes.
I think I'm going to try and read 8 or more Kindle Unlimited books.
Okay. So for everyone else out there, this is something I saw on something, I don't know, because people are in the boycott mood right now, and I get it. I understand, like, you don't want to give Amazon your money, but like for people who like have already spent money on Kindles and spent money on all of the devices and the things and stuff, that they're not just going to like give them away. Somebody did some math and basically said that if you read 8 books, or it's something like 3,000 pages it comes out to be, and they did like an average, like most books are like 350 pages, and so it kind of equates to like 8 books. So if you read something like 3,000 pages a month, ultimately Amazon loses money on your particular like Amazon Kindle Unlimited account. So and that's all based on how much Amazon pays the authors. I also, talking about that though, I also have seen, because everybody is like, I want to boycott Amazon, there are a lot of indie authors that are out there that are like, that's great, but do you know where I make most of my money?
Oh, arrow to the heart.
Yes, is like Amazon Unlimited, like Kindle Unlimited. So I understand that you don't want to give them money, but like, where else am I supposed to go? Right. Like, and there are other places for indie authors to go, but there's nowhere that is going to pull in the amount of people that Kindle Unlimited is going to pull in and give them.
Right.
And a lot of times these indie authors too, they're not putting out audiobooks as well because it's new, like they don't have the money to pay for those and stuff. So the only place they are putting it is either really cheap Kindle book, like Kindle ebooks, or on Kindle Unlimited. So I think we also have to think about the authors in those cases. And until there is a suitable replacement, Amazon might be the only option to support them.
Yes. I'm going to support them by reading more.
And you are going to support them by reading more. Yes. I do have a fear that, let's say people do jump on this and really are like, fuck yes, let's read 8 Kindle Unlimited books a month. Amazon's not going to let that happen for very long. They're going to up that price real fast. Or they're going to decrease the amount that they give to the author, right? Either way, they're going to do something. So read 8 books as long as you can a month until Amazon changes. But also just keep in mind the indie authors.
Nope, you're on your own.
The indie authors?
I'm just joking. Calm down.
Don't be a terrible person, Nicole.
I'm just kidding. Gosh. Okay. I actually, 1000% agree. I kind of just want to see if I can do it.
Yeah, I want to see too.
Like, one, I know it's not sustainable.
Sure, of course.
Like, I've done where I've only read Kindle Unlimited books because I was on, like, I don't want to call it like a book buying ban, but I was like, I'm just going to try and not spend any money on books. And so I pay for Kindle Unlimited. I should use it.
Right.
And I feel like I read faster than it refreshes books.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense. So, or it's like you read a bunch of books and then there's like nothing else for a while. And so you walk away and then you come back and there's all new books. So I say I'm going to do it in April, but I also have not looked to see if there's even 8 books that I want to read.
Right. Okay, that's fair. Well, I'm excited to see how it goes for you. I can't wait.
Now,
okay.
That also might mean that all of April could be like just Nicole's reading romance.
That's right.
Because one thing Kindle Unlimited does really well is romance.
That's right. Well, I wish you luck on your endeavor.
So, also, more throwback. Remember when we told a friend of the pod that I was only going to read for a week? I was only going to read romances?
Yes.
Sorry, friend of the pod. It might be a month of romance.
Yes. Just kidding. It's not in February.
Surprise, it's April.
Yes. Well, I can't wait. I'm excited for you. Okay, so the other podcast news for everyone.
The real podcast news.
Podcast news, yes. I've been doing some updating to the website. So first of all, please go visit savorthestorypod.com. First, you should know all of our favorites are listed there. So you can go see our favorites. I update it at the end of every month so you can kind of see what, as the year goes on, how it progresses. Also, we added our TBR. So we're going to keep that up to date with the upcoming bonus bite books that we're going to be doing, any shared books that we plan, like we did for Rebel Witch, where it's not a full bonus bite episode, but we still read it together. So you're going to get a little bit more of like a little mini deep dive in the regular episodes. So we have a couple of those planned, and so those are out on the website. And then we're also going to kind of track like 5 to 6 books that are each of our radars that we want to read either next or soon or something like that. So all of that is out there, along with the stuff that's been out there, which is the every episode. You can go find what books are talked about in every episode, any like special pictures or things that we talk about, they're all in there by episode. And obviously the contact form is in there too, so you can send us emails about all the things, all the recommendations, all the things. The next part of that though is because we want to start something to like help us out a little bit. We're gonna start linking all of the books that we either are reading or planning to read, and it is going to link to Amazon as affiliate links. But in this case, you'll be supporting the author and your favorite podcasters.
Specifically Vanessa.
No, both of us.
All of the time that you put into this.
Okay, you're going to be supporting both of us. But yeah, so if there's ever a book that we've read that you are interested in buying, or if there happens to be a book that is coming up for either one of us in the TBR page that you are interested in buying, just like slightly consider clicking the link in the website and buying it through that link. I think it's a very small percentage that would come back, but just consider it if you so choose.
Man, we went really back and forth there. First it was me talking about I'm gonna cost Amazon money, and then it's you like, we've linked everything to Amazon.
But please.
We are not crazy people. No. This is all me.
Well, okay, like I said, to be fair, going back, until there is something out there that can rival Amazon, right? It's really hard to find. And I've looked at other places. I've looked at Barnes and Noble. I've looked at other small bookshops don't offer that kind of
yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, so Amazon right now is our only option, and until we have other options,
until our brains are connected to the internet.
That's right. This is where we're at. So like I said, please just consider it. If there's anyway, that's all. So like I said, go out there, send us all the recommendations and thoughts and feelings and everything that you have on books that we've read, books that we plan to read, books that you want us to read. Send us all the things, snacks you want us to eat, everything. Just send it to us. We will love you forever. And give us 5 stars and thumbs ups and all the things. That's it.
Finally.
Okay.
That's it. Bye.
Bye.
Get out of here.